maybe we wait.
I love it. Yeah, let's jump into it, man. So this is Beardly Bourbon and Spirits, and this is Spirited Conversations. This is the interview. We're switching roles. I'm the interviewee now, and you're going to be interviewed. So Vergoza, interviewer. Sorry, thank you. Dyslexia. It's a real deal.
That's okay. Yeah.
I'm excited about this. You had some questions after we did the first 4 episodes.
Questions from the audience.
Yeah.
Which is good because that means somebody's watching.
This is true.
Yeah.
Who are you? How did you meet these people?
Yeah.
What's going on here? What is this about?
Yeah.
And it made us take a step back and say, okay, those are great questions. Maybe we should have started like this and then jumped into it, but we were excited.
Well, cart before the horse, perhaps, but backstory edition, not Backstreet Boys, backstory edition. I'm not dancing. Don't go there. Yeah, so I mean,
heck yeah.
I could monologue a bunch of stuff, but I mean, I think it works better if we just have a sip and talk and chill.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, to avoid having to do this again and switching roles again, I'll just do a brief introduction. My name's Vergoza.
Yeah.
I'm the producer. I'm lucky enough to have met you through Headspace Studios, and then we started chat. Actually, I think you were on the Headspace Studios podcast, and I may have interviewed. Interviewed you. That's how we met, and then we've just become friends, and now colleagues and partners in this project. It's been exciting to know about you. I want you to kind of give me a rundown of how you got into, let's start with photography, because that's really where we started our journey.
Right.
What did a broach into photography look like for you, and how'd you get that momentum getting in there?
Momentum took a while, as it can with any new project. I got into photography probably because of naivety, my daughter was graduating high school. We didn't have a camera anywhere in the house. My wife says, hey, we need some pictures of the girl graduating high school. Yeah, we probably do. And so I go and I buy way too much of a camera. Way too much of a camera. And
so when you say too much, how much is too much?
At the time, and now it's laughable.
Yeah.
Because when I look in my camera bag now it's like,
well,
shit, I wish I could get back to that.
You texted us the other day and said you were thinking of going bigger.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts.
So what was I know people are listening and they're like, okay, what's too much when I first start?
To go from nothing, right? And you have to contextualize where I was at in my life. We were a single income household. I had 4 kids, and trying to navigate things on a job that was, it raised my kids. It was a good job, but it's not like maybe where I'm at today.
And not photography. You're talking about W-2 job.
Yeah, I'm talking tax paying, sweating my ass off, doing all the stuff in the world of manufacturing.
Which I think is why, some viewers and friends and family were confused by this, because you're not super public about all the other things that you're doing.
Well, the crazy thing is this. I exist in 2 spaces at a very visible level, but I don't commingle the 2 spaces. My artistic endeavors and my whiskey endeavors, which we've colluded with purpose, I keep exclusively separate from my manufacturing world. Mm-hmm. I have to be able to escape one to the other from time to time, so I don't really want those to meet. I'm actually a highly visible individual in a high visible position for a global leading company for the W-2 paying job.
Which I know and I find hilarious. Like, I love that about you. I was like, oh, it's awesome.
So the people I work with are shocked when they find this on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And then the people that I drink with or talk photography with or musicians or they're like, no, wait, what is this again?
What are you doing?
So
why are you out of the country right now? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and I leave for Germany in 3 days. I've been on the road I think I'm on pace to have traveled. Like, if I keep this pace, I think I will have slept in a hotel and traveled for my day job about 30 to 32 weeks out of this year if I keep pace. That's more than half if you do math as well as I do. I had to stop and think about that. It's a lot of nights in a hotel. It also emphasizes the importance of this podcast for me. And it is troubling to me sometimes that I do struggle to make time for it, but I have to attend to what takes care of the family.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll try not to
before we get too far removed, it was $350. It was a Nikon D3100 and a 2-lens kit. It was like $350, which at the time, it meant a lot more to us than maybe $350 would today, right?
And for the poor bastards at home who are waiting through that story to hear, you're welcome.
Right?
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah,
No.
not gonna leave you hanging.
But okay. I almost started bird walking onto just talking to you because it's one of my favorite things to do to sit and chat. And a lot of times our podcasts, when we're done, we just sit here for a little bit longer and we chat. So I'll try not to do that. I really want to stay focused on your journey, photography, and all the above. If you catch me bird walking, just pull me back. Camera, you said 350?
$350 after tax, out the door.
Nice.
No
Nice.
knowledge of how
to work it.
I don't have.
And that's actually a reasonable place to start. Again, knowing what we know now, I'm pretty deep in that space too. Like, oh, that's very reasonable.
I mean, when you look at 350, and then there's certain brands you can look at, and it's literally 30 times that 350 just to get started. It's
what year was that?
what year my daughter graduated high school. I don't know, but it's been several years ago. I can't my daughter's gonna hate me, but she was
like 03 to 06, I think. Actually, you told me this.
Ish, right?
So we're 20 years ago.
Oh my God, yeah.
So 300's actually, that's a little bit of money. That's like maybe spending a G now.
Yeah, I mean, with inflation, it's probably like I'm going without wife's approval, without any kind of knowledge, and it's like, hey, single income household, I'm here. Yeah, like today it would be like I'm going to drop a K on something I don't know how to use.
Yeah. I have a new hobby. I got this guitar. Oh my God, why have you done this?
But by the way, day of graduation, so there was no learn how to use it time at
you
all.
bought it the day of graduation.
Like 3 hours before she walked.
Right?
So
that's a good dad right there.
It's a dumbass, is what it is.
Trial by fire, though. Okay.
Hey, yeah.
So you broached into photography like that. When did you, after that moment, when did you start saying, I can use this camera for other stuff? And I'm sure that was the justification.
It was absolutely the justification because there was what I'll call, I'm going to tie this in. There was a spirited conversation between my wife and I.
I bet there was.
I believe it started, what the but I told her, I said, look, I understand it's money. Let's get the photos. I bought the damn thing at Walmart. They don't ask about taking stuff back. I'll just take the photos of Pistol.
Yeah.
I'll take the camera back.
Not a big deal.
So like a month goes by.
Camera's still in the hand.
I still have the camera. And I've used it for flowers. We've gone to the Missouri Botanical Garden. That's one of, this episode is about me, I guess, which is kind of weird to say, but it is about me, so my audience learns. Missouri Botanical Gardens is one of my, it turns my brain off, right? So I can go there, I can relax. Teresa and I both love the Japanese garden, and I'd taken it there a couple of times in just shooting in auto mode, which now is less capable than the auto mode on my cell phone, but it's so easy. Because I got like one image, right?
Yeah.
I got like just one of a water lily, and I'm like, damn, that's nice.
That's pretty good.
Like, that's...
I think I'm a professional.
At the time, I had stepped away from playing music. And for those of you who are like, oh, I want to look up videos and see Keith play music, you're going to be disappointed. Keith was not good, but he had a lot of fun.
I forgot about that.
So, yeah, I spent a decade... I have many lives, dude. Like, there's like a whole bunch of different lives crammed into my life.
I remember when I first met you and we started sharing stories, I was like, dude, this guy's kind of like me. Like, he's just kind of doing whatever he wants to do.
I have to be busy doing something that's creative, because the job that I have, and I'm purposely not mentioning the company.
Yeah.
It's stressful. We've talked about the large territory that I cover and the responsibility that comes with what I do. And for those of you who are going to watch this and know what I do, look, I'm not crying, okay? I like my job. They don't force me to go do it. It's a great job and a great opportunity. But it's stress.
But it's a job.
It's a job. It's a road warrior job, right? I travel. I find myself traveling out on Sundays. I find myself leaving sometimes on Thanksgiving night to get to where I'm going, and as a grandfather, there's some things there. And as a father, I took the job. So the audience don't think I'm a complete ass to my kids versus my grandchild. I took the road warrior position after the kids were grown and through college, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't experience Dad traveling.
As far as they know, you're still home. They don't even know about it.
Yeah. Well, but the grandson who spends a lot of time with us, he is growing up in a world where, that's what he calls me, because he's a little bit speech delayed and limited, so he doesn't say grandpa. He calls me Uh-oh's always on the road, right? And it's
By the way, sorry, that's a great nickname.
I happen to actually let's be realistic. You don't have any grandkids. Not that I know of, none that you know of.
No shot.
But he could have called me asshole, and I'd have been perfectly fine with it, right? Because grandkids are different. Everything you ever hear about a grandkid is true. It's true. And for those of you who are like, I don't know if I'm ready, I wasn't either, but I was.
Yeah.
You don't know how ready you are. But all of that to say, I need this other side of my life and the creativity. So I have a need for creative endeavors. I have a curse of boredom. When I escalate something to the point to where I have to decide if it's time to monetize it, because that's how my brain works, that's the point in which I have to decide I'm done with that and I'm going to start something else from scratch so it can still be a hobby.
Yeah.
Or now I'm going to side hustle.
And then again, you're a lot like me in that you have to do that. It's not a choice. It's an inevitability, and it has to happen, which is why we're sitting here today.
Correct.
Actually.
Yes.
So I love that. So we started photography. The lily pad or
water lily.
Water lily.
Yeah, which same thing. It's the flowering portion of a lily pad. But I went from that. And Teresa goes, what are we going to do with the camera? Are you going to take the camera back? And I said, no, I think I'm going to start photographing concerts, which is where the music part ties in, right? Because I'd stepped away from that, but I was still missing it.
And most everybody who's watching probably knows that portion of, if they see the whiskey portion, they know the photo portion, they know the artistic portion, and really you're known very well for doing music.
Music photography.
Music
yes.
photography. Sorry,
Yeah,
music photography.
Yeah, like that's how the relationships were made for the bones of this show.
Yes.
The idea was between us through conversation. The relationships come from my time in St. Louis behind the camera and making friends and relationships and things there, and meeting all of these fantastically, amazingly talented people that we have the pleasure of talking to and interviewing. That's the conduit that gets us to the show, as far as the guests go.
Now, so we have a little bit of foundation in the photography of bands, which you've extensively done. And our first guest, I think, was Steve Ewing. And
he was in the mix, yeah.
Yeah, and so... again, that's some of those questions like, hold on, how are you attached to all these different musicians? Right. And as the show goes, there'll be more. And so we probably should have started in this fashion. But
I actually kind of like it, not to cut you off. I kind of like it that we made somebody ask, because if no one ever asked, then how much of an impact are we actually making?
Well, here's the other funny thing that you're bringing up too is we're arrogant enough to think we didn't have to tell people. Don't know.
Arrogant forgetful,
naive,
yeah, potentially a mixture of the three.
narcissistic, like whatever. That's me.
I struggle though. It's interesting that you bring that up because I would have never, ever on my own had the idea to do a background show.
I think same thing. When we kind of came up with this.
I struggle with being like, look at me. I struggle with that. That's not the kind of person that I am. So when Sean, and you know who you are, and I appreciate you and I love you, buddy. When Sean reached out to me and said, there's a ton of people that don't know, they don't know how to connect these dots. And I know you, and I still don't exactly know how to connect these dots. And I'm like, yeah, but we allude to it here and there. And he goes, yeah, dude, but it's not the same as just telling people how it all comes together.
Who you are, how you got here. And then even in St. Louis, I know corporately you're probably known much further than St. Louis, but for the music stuff, it's mostly, or the music photography is mostly here in St. Louis, which is a small market, and the internet is not a small market. And so as you're telling stories, it's very difficult to connect those dots. I love that he put it that way. And really, I know you do a great job, and this is one of the compliments I've given you on the first 4 episodes that we did. You're a great interviewer. You sit, you listen. All those things are wonderful. I would love to see you start connecting some of those, and it might extend the show a little bit. It might not be an hour show anymore. Now it might be an hour and 30, an hour and 45, or 2 hours, because if we give you space to connect all those dots and tell the stories and actually, and even if, your guest is hearing a story for a second time, I think that might be helpful. Tell us in the comments. I know, this is, we're learning here.
Right.
But yeah, that's good feedback from one of your fans.
It was excellent feedback. And it really, it forced me to pause and say, you're right. I don't want the show to be about me, right? Like when you and I talked about this, I said I specifically want the show to be about my love of sharing whiskey with amazing people. But not everybody gets a chance to sit down with Steve and Charlie Berry and Neil Salsic, and and there's a lot of people out there going, how the hell are you doing this, dude? Are you paying for your guests? And no, we're not.
Yeah, no.
It's all
well, they get whiskey, which in my opinion,
to some degree, which I only have one bottle tonight, but well, I've seen us with more than one bottle, and I need to work in the morning. So,
so this actually brings us to our next spot. Yeah. So as we're moving in photography. You're growing that. When did the whiskey love start for you? When did that passion turn? Because really, the show is Beardly Bourbon and Spirits, which is, we weren't doing a podcast. You were doing whiskey reviews. That's how we started working together.
Right. Yeah. That was where it was started. And the podcast actually was like the thing that I was like, man, at some point, I think it would be super cool if we could parlay something into a podcast. And the whiskey reviews, it started from boredom. It started from me. Now, the reviews I'm talking, not the love of whiskey, right? So the reviews started because an old guy with 4 kids and a grandkid was like, I wonder how long it would take me to get 1,000 followers on TikTok. And
it didn't take that long, actually.
No, it didn't. It didn't, just to be straightforward about it. But I had great people also. Like when I first jumped into the TikTok community, I didn't have any clue what it was going to be, how magnanimous it was going to be, how much it truly is. And people laugh at me when I say TikTok community, but before all the bullshit happened with TikTok, it was a community.
It was a community. Now it does feel a little bit more like everybody's kind of dipping their toes. But before that, it was a community of early adopters because it was China, because it was going to go away.
Yep.
And there was a time that we had I think my company had 3 or 4 TikTok accounts back when you could sell a TikTok account for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 grand. Like, oh, you want to get on TikTok? You need to already have one, and we have them. Anyway, sorry, I won't bird walk on you.
No, it's fine because you touched upon the things. It's actually very relevant, right? So I immediately, and I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Delmar is his nickname. I don't want to use his real name because I don't know how he'd feel about that. But I'm sitting on my patio one night, and the only reason that I even knew there was a bourbon space that existed on TikTok was because I had kids and I heard all this shit in the news about TikTok and this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting on my patio and I'm smoking a cigar and I'm drinking, and I download TikTok to my phone because I'm curious, right? I'm always curious about new things. And then I see this guy who's named himself Delmar, and he gets on there and he says, "This is day 1 of me sipping bourbon until I like it." And then he proceeds to damn near vomit, and I'm laughing. I'm laughing my ass off, right?
Awesome.
So like I'm like, I have to watch this. Like if this is, and it was called Delmar's Daily, right? So I'm thinking, if he's truly going to do this every day, like I'm going to roll in here and watch this every night. I'm going to make a concentrate. So when I started doing that, I realized that there was all of these people that were giving really sincere, really ego-free, monetization-free, absolute, I want to help you understand about this whiskey
thing.
Yes. And I thought, that's awesome. And I might have something to add. So I just, and then I found out that people could go live and you could talk to people from around, and it was just like, okay, I want to be part of this. I want to do it. That's how the review started. The review was the vehicle to get into that realm.
Now, just to, we're going to go backwards a little bit. And you don't talk about this a lot, but this show is based around it. You are a whiskey, what is the official word?
Steward.
You're a whiskey steward, which, if you don't know, is a very difficult thing to be.
I wouldn't say it's difficult. You have to put some time in it.
Some time.
You have to, it's like anything, right? So a certification only is as good as what you do with it. And if you're a neurosurgeon, a certification in CPR doesn't mean a damn thing, right? So a whiskey steward means nothing to a master distiller.
Yeah.
Or a whiskey steward means nothing to someone who understands maybe more about what the steward is. But what I think a lot of people overlook, there's two parts to this. There's an aspect of being a steward that people overlook, and there's an aspect of being a steward that is overlooked by the person who is the steward. Being a steward is not about knowing more than Fregosa about a glass of whiskey. I happen to know more than you because I've been involved in the game longer. Being a steward is about ensuring that when you come to me with curiosity and learning how to enjoy the spirit or education about it, that I take care of you in an appropriate way to give you every opportunity to develop your own opinion about what's in the glass.
Yeah.
So judgment-free guidance and just being a steward of the overall spirit, not to monetize it, not to act like you know more, but to just help people enjoy something that I enjoy.
Well, that journey takes time, takes energy, takes, a little TLC to get you to where you're at in your knowledge base. And one of the things that I've really appreciated about you in sitting and trying whiskeys with you is you really just let me tell you what I think, and then you give me notes, and you're usually spot on. I'm like, oh, dude, yes, that's nailing it. The palate's amazing. So with that note, why don't we get into some notes?
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to pop and go, and we'll keep talking, obviously. But that's a good little segue into this. And I'm doing multi-tasking. I'm producing and in it. right now. And
I should have known better than that.
I should have known better. I'm supposed to be in charge of that stuff.
We'll dive into this bottle. I've already got the plastic pulled off it, but I haven't popped it yet.
Tell
I
us about it.
stopped on the way over here because, as we discussed, I've been running like crazy, and I wanted to see. I was looking for a specific bottle that the store didn't have, but I happened across this one. This is a Pursuit United, and I've never seen this before. It's a triple mash bourbon, so it's what it is it's 3 different mash bills that they've blended together to create a 4-grain bourbon. So there's no age statement on here, which disappoints me a little bit, but we've blended here from Bardstown Bourbon Company. We have 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. Then a Tennessee distilling partner.
Now, when they say partner, it's probably not in Tennessee.
Oh no, it is because it's a Tennessee distilling partner. So that means, there's several distilleries in Tennessee, but their mash bill is 80% corn, 10% rye, 10% malted barley, and then Finger Lakes Distilling. I don't know where that one's at. I'm gonna have to look into that. But they are coming here with a 70% corn, 20% wheat, 10% malted barley. So over blending those 3 mash bills, they end up with a 4-grain.
Gotcha. Now I missed. I think I was moving stuff around when you said the proof, or did you say the proof?
I haven't said the proof
Okay.
yet. There's no age statement, but of course, I'm going to buy the uncut, unfiltered barrel proof.
Yep.
If you know anything about me, I'm going to go there. So this is 119.4 proof, or 59.7%. So first time I've ever had it. First time I saw it.
Lackluster pop.
You can.
Which Keith is always joking about that the pop really doesn't matter, but he does like a good pop.
I mean, it doesn't have to matter, but it can matter because if the cork is too loose, then that whiskey's had a chance to be oxidizing at least a little bit. So I do appreciate a good seal on the cork, but it doesn't necessarily matter.
Well, cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Yeah. You want to tap them on?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. We had to rotate to these little ones.
Mm-hmm.
First
I'm not
pass.
mad at that.
Yeah. First pass, I kind of like that. A little sweet. Are you not getting sweet?
No.
I'm getting a little
I
honey.
am, but I'm waiting.
Mm-hmm. So, a little sweet for me, a little honey maybe. Man, if I said, I want to give it time. If I said char, I think I'd be making it up, but I didn't do the nose passes that you taught me either.
Yeah. The nose on this to me is light. Like I don't get much on the nose, but the palate is punchy. I get a bunch of fruit notes on the front. Like as soon as it hits my front of my palate, I get a bunch of fruit notes.
Maybe that's where that sweet is coming from.
Yeah. I mean, but again, stewardship, you're not wrong. You could tell me
sure.
that you taste a 16-penny roofing nail or whatever, and you would still be right about it.
First, how do you know what those taste like? Well, I was a
had
kid.
I had a hard raisin, dude.
Yeah, when I was a kid. Little bitter at the end.
So yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I'm glad you said that because to me, it's I definitely get the 4 grains out of this. I get it starts all sweet up front.
Super.
So that corn, the wheat that's in there, all of that comes up on the front, and then it kind of just like rakes you a little bit on the back on the finish with the rye. So
very, very dry, very bitter on the tail end.
Yeah,
and almost.
I don't get the bitter, but I understand how you are, right? I can see where somebody would get the bitter. I just it's not treating me that way. It's treating me a little more botanical and less bitter.
Explain botanical.
You ever drink gin?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
IPAs or gin?
That's what it is. Botanical.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mean when I say botanical, because gin is a very botanical spirit.
That's the dryness. What's interesting too is we've done this quite a bit together. I'm always interested to know, as you say something, wait, what do you mean by that? Is that am I saying the same thing? I'm just using the wrong word or a different word?
Yeah. Well, context and semantics matter.
Yeah.
Regional influences matter. You grew up in California, right?
Cali boy.
So, I grew up legitimately a long way away from any major establishment in Tennessee.
What part of Tennessee?
A little town called Dover.
Dover. Okay. Any
But
Dover
not
fans?
in town. So I was, how do I put this in perspective? We were the family when I was young. Okay, first of all, you have to remember
I was young.
You have to remember I lost my dad very young. Like my biological father died in a car accident when I was 3 years old. So I was raised in large part my formative years by my grandfather.
Gotcha.
World War II vet. Okay, and I could tell you stories about this man that, he was a World War II vet. He was part of the greatest generation, as we like to say.
Yeah.
And even though he loved me to the moon and back, if I needed to have my ass jerked in a knot, he was the first one in line to get it done.
But that, again, is very hard love.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest generation. That's why they call them the greatest generation. They did so much, and they were very rough around the edges. But, man, again, I think that's probably a testament to who you are today and the type of person you are today.
He loved as hard as he disciplined. And with me, I will admit, I was the first grandchild on either side of the family, and I was the boy. So with me, he probably loved more than he disciplined, but I still got that side of him. But we were the family that we would load up into a car one time a month to drive an hour and 15 minutes to a major metro to go grocery shopping for all of the things that we weren't growing or cooking, or like our meats and stuff. I mean, we'd catch it out of the lake, or we'd kill it, or and all the we'd grow it. So I tell people all the time, like 85% of what I ate growing up, if we didn't catch it, kill it, or grow it, it wasn't on the table.
So you just went a little bit further than my family. So my family would go get everything. So we would drive, 45 minutes to an hour to go get everything.
Right.
And then we'd bring it all back, but we weren't growing.
No,
that was
we
a hobby.
legitimately went to. I mean, it was like going to the general store in Yellowstone before that was a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't go for
you
vegetables.
mean Yellowstone, the show.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah,
No, I'm just checking.
Yeah, just it's kind of Wild West, but it was in Tennessee, but not Wild West. I don't want to make it sound like we were homesteaders. We weren't. What we were very self-sufficient,
Country folk.
lower income country people.
Yeah.
We never bought vegetables. We didn't have to.
Yeah.
We just go pick those.
Now-
and protein, we would kill that.
So not my immediate family, but my aunt and uncle, that was them, right? So they're in the same area that I'm in, and if they want to go a run to,
Right.
Sacramento, right? It's
Right.
an hour and 10 minutes. Whoa, big time, going to the big city.
Right.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know Northern California is very country. So I'm sure just very country. They did a lot of raising chickens, cows.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
between my two sets of grandparents, I mean, I may be one of the only people my age that that I can tell you I've held onto a single row spade plow that was being pulled by a team of mules.
It's legit.
That's kind of the background. I did not stay true to it. I am a man of convenience, right? I'm going to admit that. I travel too much for work. I like my finer things, but I always tell people, don't sell me short on what you think I might not know, because if the apocalypse happened tomorrow, I will be able to get some shit done.
Yeah. Oh, that's how I feel too. I was actually, ironically, talking to that aunt that they did the homestead, and I made a joke about I was painting something in my house, getting my house ready for a new renter. And I told her I was doing all that. She's like, yeah, my uncle would be shocked. I was not the manual labor dude. I was the, music and theater and art and all the above. It's like, oh yeah, I had to fix a few things around the house. I'm doing some painting now. Uncle Sam would be shocked.
Yeah. Uncle Sam.
Rolling in his grave, yeah. So we know how you became a whiskey steward. It's just now I do have a question about the process, and I don't think I've ever asked you the process. I know it takes time. Is it a guild? Is it a?
It's like getting it's basically a self-study college certificate kind of thing.
Okay.
But not college. I'm just using that because that's what people can relate to.
It's an example of what this looks like.
Right. It's a self-study certificate program, and you are tested. They do expect you to be able to prove your knowledge, to be able to get your PIN. There's a couple of different levels of it. I'm just a certified steward.
Yeah.
There's an executive steward level that goes much deeper, and if I could figure out how to put an extra month into the year, like I've wanted to achieve that executive stewardship level for the last 2 or 3 years. I just don't have time to do it.
So here's our new TikTok shtick. We got to make some time for you to do that. And I know how busy you are. One of the reasons that we're doing this episode is because you've been so busy with life and travel and a new position at work and all the above. You're like, dude, I wasn't able to find a guest, and I didn't even plan for one. Like, I can go find you a guest. Cool. I know some weird people too.
Right.
Like, we can get them on. But I said, and then you had told me about that insight, and I said, well, then let's just take a step back, because I had never thought of this either.
Right.
Let's just interview you, man. Let's just find out more about you and how we ended up here in this weird.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Because most podcast hosts, people know who they are, and it helps, right, with viewership. I'm not a famous person. I'm never going to be a famous person. I do hold myself to be a relatively interesting person.
No faith, bro. You have no faith in me. That's cool. It's good to know how you feel.
I'll pay for all the whiskey if you make me a famous person.
Well, here's the secret. I could never make you a famous person, but if we show the crowd that would find you as interesting as I find you, you will inevitably be far more well-known than you are now, because you are one of the most interesting people. You're basically the Dos Equis guy without the Dos Equis.
You sound like my wife. Like that's literally how my wife describes me. My wife will meet people that I work with, and when they start to have these revelations of, oh my God, you've done that and you've done that. And Teresa, you've met Teresa. You know Teresa very well, and it's almost like she's just kind of casually waiting for her moment to go, he's the most interesting man nobody knows. Yep. Like, that's her line. She coined that line.
It probably should be our line.
10 or at least 7 years ago, my wife coined that line.
It probably should be our line for the show. It really should be. It should be a tag. Spirited Conversations with the most interesting man you've never met or never heard of. How does she say it?
That I'm the most interesting man that no one knows.
Interesting man that no one knows.
And her logic is that if I took this side of me and I took the other side of me and actually let the world kind of see what all of that looked like together, that's how she comes to that. Because someone who drinks whiskey with a buddy and has a podcast, there's a million of those people out there, right? Somebody who does whiskey reviews, there's a million of those people out there. Somebody who's written and done a book with Steve Ewing, there's one of those people out there.
Nice
but you get where I'm going with
this,
right?
I mean, talented and known photographers, plenty.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even hold myself, honest to God, I don't even hold myself in like the top few percent of the most talented people in this city that I know with a camera.
Yes, but I mean, again, it's talented and known. It doesn't mean that you are the best. It means, because there's those two things, there's plenty of talented.
Bob Dylan proved that, right?
Yeah. There's plenty of talented. This is a quote, and I started my entertainment career in music, And someone told me this, and it's always stuck with me. There's someone less talented than you doing much better, and there's someone much better than you
Doing nothing.
doing nothing.
Yep.
And so, and it's rang true, you know, throughout my life that I've met people and I've interviewed people and I've been on, you know, on stage with people, and I'm like, how are you getting more following than I'm getting? I'm so much more talented than you. And then I've been on the other side of that, and I've sat next to somebody on a couch for a jam session and just looked at my guitar and been like, just, what am I doing here? I'm such a fake.
When we had Neil,
Yeah.
I play, you play.
Yeah.
I know the chords he was playing,
Yeah. I was checking it out. I was like, oh, I can play that song, but not like that.
but I felt so freaking insignificant when that talent, that musical talent, was across the table.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to sit here. Here's what I know about that situation. I could teach myself how to play guitar that well.
Yeah.
I could never teach myself to be that vibe and have that voice.
Well,
that's the born thing, right? That's the part that makes, to me, that's the part that makes people special.
And the nice truth that we all can know is that he probably has the same experience that I had. He'll meet people that are so much more talented than him, and they are not doing anything. And then adversely, he'll meet people that are not as talented as him and are so much further. You know, it's frustrating. Like, how am I not further?
Dude, yeah.
It's timing. Yeah. It's a lot of different factors. But back to most interesting man no one's ever heard of. You are competent in all these different verticals, right? So competent in whiskey, competent in photo, competent in, very competent in the W-2 world and manufacturing and, you know, having that type of business brain. Very competent in all these different avenues, and people don't do that. People do one thing, and I think that's my draw to you when we first started, is because I'm a lot like you. I have hobbies that turn into mini careers or things that I try to make money at, and if I can make a couple dollars, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go, on to the next.
Yeah, and that's the beautifully damned part of our personality type.
Agreed.
Because it's all beauty until somebody hands you a dollar bill. And then it becomes responsibility.
And again, I think you said it best. It's not responsibility. It's an inevitable curse of being very interested in things. I'm very interested in this. Oh, okay, I got really good at this really fast. Mm-hmm. You could get paid for this. Mm-hmm. Oh, how do we scale?
So for me, I'm really internally conflicted, okay? Because I'm at a psychological level, almost physiologically. Like it almost hurts me in a physical way if I don't take whatever I'm doing all the way to the point to where I could, by technical definition, be a professional at it, which means making money.
Yeah, what's the point?
Right? I feel the need to take everything to that point. And when I get there, my brain goes, well, you f*** that up now.
Still, it feels a lot like work.
Right. Yes. And look, for those listening, forgive my language, but that's kind of how that goes, right? It's like you've taken something that was so beautiful to you, and you've taken it, now you're a half a click away of shoving it over into this other side of life that you don't let anybody see.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's complicated for me. I do it to myself, and I know it. And that's the weird thing, right? It's like I know it, but I know as certain as I'm talking to you, if I become passionate about something tomorrow, something off the wall, doesn't matter what it is, I will push it to the point with conviction to where I could be professional at it, and then I will piss myself off because I've taken it to that point.
So you will find this like the most funny thing, and I'm throwing myself under. I don't even want to say this. I'll tell you afterwards because I don't want to throw it out into everybody hearing what I'm trying to get good enough to be considered a professional at right now. It's another hobby. It's so dumb. But that curse of this is what I realize. I think our personality type will inevitably do that with everything. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Here's another hobby, not the hobby I'm talking about, chess.
Yep.
I am so deep into chess right now. So I'm watching tutorial videos. Like
you're Bobby Fischer deep.
I'm deep, right? I'm learning names of openings. I'm nerding out. Yeah. I suck. I'm so bad at this, right? This is truly a hobby. I play a bunch online. That's where I release, right? But the inevitable curse is I already know. Like one day I'll be like, I need to do a tournament. I need to see where I'm really at. I need to see if it's just, you can't do that. But this is the cool part. I'm sorry. And I know this is about you.
No. It's about us.
All right. I'm just digging in. This is the cool part. Right now, what we're doing from the time, it probably took about 10 or 15 minutes to get into the conversation.
Yeah.
But then you were stressed when you got here. Uh-huh. I was stressed when I got here. The before, mm-hmm. And then after the camera goes off, the after is going to be stressful. We got to clean up. We got to do some. We'll keep drinking. We'll talk and we'll do the thing, right?
Right.
But man, we're in the thing. Like we're getting to do, and I get the pleasure of sitting behind you, over here off to the side, off camera, and I get to be adjacent to all these interesting people and try the amount of bottles that I've got to tap into. Mm-hmm. We were looking at, so my marketing team was looking at the list of all the bottles that we've reviewed. Mm-hmm. Oh, we have 100+ reviews out there, and some of those bottles I'll never see again.
Yeah.
I'll never get to taste them again.
Right.
And it is and this is my question. So I said all that noise and stole some time to ask this question. In our brains, in your brain, do you think you subconsciously know that this is what you're after? Because if you don't get good enough at whiskey, at photo, how could you ever sit across from somebody and have a conversation that is interesting enough, in part, for other people to want to listen to? And maybe that's the drive, like a tension, or is that a subconscious thing?
I don't think it's subconscious. I actually think it's quite conscious. There'll be people who know me, like on a very personal level, who will, like if you really know me, you won't be surprised by this statement. If you casually know me, you're going to be quite surprised by this statement. At the core of me, I'm a pleaser. Mm-hmm. I seek approval.
Yeah.
Success drives me, and acknowledgement of success is a pleased client approving of what you do. That infiltrates every aspect of my life. In my W-2 environment, as you've been calling it, in my professional realm, I seek to please.
Yeah.
That's how I've achieved the positions that I have. I also have a very strong side to me that if you ask me to tell you the truth, I will.
You're going to get it. Yeah.
And that's a challenge for me at times, because sometimes the truth is out of my mouth before I have a chance to go, maybe you shouldn't say that. And yes, it's fresh on my mind. So, there's, like I said, it's been a week, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that aspect of me that is a pleaser. And I'm also, in many ways, I'm not driven for perfection, but I'm driven to do the thing to the utmost of perfection that I am capable of.
Yeah.
I would never expect to play a guitar like I'll just use Clapton. Clapton's not my favorite guitarist, but Clapton is so technically perfect that some people actually don't like him because of it, right? I wouldn't say never, because I don't like that word. Today, I don't see a world where I play guitar that well, right?
But you want to be good enough to where you're surprisingly good.
Not embarrassing.
Yeah.
When I tell somebody that I know about whiskey, or when I tell somebody that I used to do this, or I did this, or I acted in a movie, or I put a book together, I want them to look at it and not have the reaction. I don't like this fake reaction of, oh, dude, that's awesome. This, blah, blah, blah.
Doesn't that hurt?
Frickin' hate that. I don't care anything about it. What I live for is when somebody looks at something and they just kind of give you that silent look, and it's just like that moment of acknowledgement, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So this is like pro.
I had no idea.
Right, yeah.
Like, why aren't you pursuing that more? Or what? Well,
Yes.
I am. You just saw it.
Right. That's the thing where I strive to get to. And that's how that's how it all goes. That's every single bit of it.
Well, so it's funny that you use the word bit. I have a friend who she calls it doing a bit. She's like, you do some of this stuff for a bit. I was like, what do you mean for the bit? She's like, you do it so if it comes up in a party, like you can hop on a piano, or you can, if someone has a chessboard, you're like, oh yeah, I play a little bit, and you're going to say a little bit, but you've obsessed, and you're going to be better than the hobbyist. You're not going to be a professional at whatever you're talking about, but you're going to be so good, they're going to be very confused. Like, what do you mean you do it a little? You do this a lot. Well, not anymore. I did it a lot for like 3 or 4 years straight.
I had a situation just not this week, 2 weeks ago. I was in Dallas 2 weeks ago, and I had someone come up to me and say, "Hey, so and so." I'm keeping the names out of this on purpose because it's for work, or it was for work. And said, "Hey, so and so said, to tell you hi, and said we should drink whiskey together sometime." And I said, "Oh yeah." I said, I enjoy an occasional whiskey, And we get to talking, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, I started on this whiskey thing, and now I'm running out of room, and I don't have a place to put bottles." And I said, "Yeah, that can happen to you, I said, "They can sprout up like bad weeds. You start, and then he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, I had like 3 bottles, and now I'm up to like, man, I'm like getting close to 40, and I don't know where to put them." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a problem."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I told you, I'm not the puff the chest out guy, right?
I think you've left 40 here.
I've moved 40 into the studio because they were in my way.
Which I'm not complaining about.
Right.
I love having them here.
I remember the day you're like, "What the hell you want us to do with these?" I'm like, "Drink them for all I don't care."
Not a lot of work has been done around here since, okay? It's been almost 6 months and nothing's happened.
But inevitably, to your point, inevitably the person goes, "Well, how about you?"
Yeah.
And then
you just embarrassingly like.
At first, it wasn't embarrassing to me. And now I try to avoid the answer, unless I'm with another whiskey person. Like I know, because there are people, the number I'm getting ready to throw out isn't shit compared to some of the people I personally know. So if I'm around like people, I don't care to throw out that
number.
That number, right? And well, not small, but smaller than some.
In comparison.
Smaller than some.
Even 40 for me, I really like whiskey, and I keep about 10 bottles that I like on hand. It's like they're around. And people are like, "Oh, you're really into whiskey, huh?" I was like, not compared to the people I hang out with. Yeah, they have problems.
Well, inevitably, due to the inherent human nature of wanting to continue a conversation on a like-minded topic, and the inherent human desire for bonding, they will question me until the point to where
you gotta tell them.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I have several bottles, And I'm not trying to
one up.
I hate one-upping, and I'm not trying to be evasive to these people, but someone just told me they were really super proud of a 40-bottle collection. I don't want to look at them and go, "Yeah, call me when you got 460 more."
Yeah.
That I'm not that guy. But when they finally work the number out of me,
which is not always easy to do. We learned that earlier when I was trying to get 350, 360 out of you.
Yeah. It's not because I'm embarrassed by it.
No, the way that you are very gracious in your communication with others. And I think it's that human connection aspect of you. So maybe for you, it's less of the bit and more communal. For me, it's the bit. I like the shock and the awe. I like the funny. Like, what? Yeah, I told someone I had a little stint in college of crochet. I'm decent at crochet.
Yeah.
And someone said it. I was like, yeah, I can crochet a little bit. And they're like, what? Just like, I don't want to. And then I don't want to talk about it. But again, I do it for the bit. It sounds like you do it more for the communal aspect of it and then not wanting to be a fraud in that communal aspect.
I truly have a massive pet peeve with people who can tell you about all the things they think they can do, who spend their time and energy to purposely one-up. I don't like those people.
Yeah.
I don't like people who will go out of their way to purposely challenge what one is saying in an effort to get a rise out of people. I truly and honestly want to know about someone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a line of demarcation with me. If I'm talking to you, I'm truly interested in you. If I'm not talking to you, I won't talk to you. I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
One should not feel special because I talk to them because I'm not anything special. But the point is...
Which, Keith, makes you special? Sorry.
But, okay, we could... I'm not going to argue that because you're entitled to your evaluation of reality the same as anyone. I don't hold myself as anything special. The point I was making, though, is not people shouldn't feel special because I take time to talk to them. I'm not a fraud, and I don't talk to someone for the specific purpose of figuring out how I can prove to be better.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Right? And I'm hoping, well, you already know this about me, but for the viewer, that's not the purpose of the bit. The purpose, my shtick is comedy. I want them to think it's preposterous.
Right. Well, it is preposterous. Yeah. I mean, who the hell's...
What are you doing?
I know you well. And literally in my brain, when you said crochet, my brain went, what the f***?
It honestly...
I mean, what are you crocheting?
It was the only...
Hearts for girls? I mean, was this a dating angle?
No. So it started as a dating angle. I met this girl, so I did some acting, and I still do some acting. We were backstage, and she was crocheting, and I was trying, teach me how to do it. Like, whatever, right? Young, college. So she did. And then
through the whole rap pull.
Yeah,
my mom crochets. It's something like that. I've watched it.
And so, like as a bit or as a joke, I made like this tube top shirt, and I was like, "Look, I can make clothes." And she's like, "You're an idiot," right? But I did the only successful
crocheting
project.
Notwithstanding, you're an idiot. Right?
The only other thing I ever made in crochet was a scarf for my mom. It was a Christmas gift. It took me, no joke, like a year and a half to do it.
Yeah.
And that was when I had first moved to Missouri, and I literally had no money whatsoever.
There's also COVID, right?
It was COVID. Yeah.
Like, what the hell else you gonna do?
Yeah, there was a lot of free time there, and so I did that. And when I had, and again, it's kind of for the bit too. When my mom opened it,
where'd you get that? Oh, I made it.
Yeah. For Christmas, she opened it as her Christmas gift. She's like, "Oh, a scarf and blah blah blah." She's really cool. She's like, "Where'd you get it?" I was like, "I made it." And my brother's like, "Shut up! You're such an idiot. God, you're such an idiot. And not everything's a joke." I was like, "Oh well, this one's actually not because that took me a very long time. Do not throw that away. I will be pissed. You are required to wear that."
You should have time lapsed it.
Oh, I should.
Because your brother still doesn't know quite. Like, he's still in the back of his head. He's like, did he really do
No,
it?
I convinced him because it was imperfect. Like, I was like, okay, you're not going to buy. Look how imperfect the end is. I got so impatient. Yeah. He's like, okay, this is tracking a little bit. This is not a great. I'm not good at it. I'm good enough to make something, but I'm not talented.
Yeah,
I know how it works.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, okay, so tying these things together. So photography, a very good stint in photography with some accolades. And again, as another hobbyist, I do photography. I shoot models and product, and I do some video stuff. I would be very happy with your resume, right? So,
Well, thank you for that.
as a photographer who, again, I would be happy with that resume. As a musician, maybe you're not happy with the resume, right? But you had a lot of fun.
Dude, I played a decade. I was paid to play music and have fun every weekend for a decade.
Again, great resume.
I don't want that job back. I would be a liar if I said I didn't randomly miss it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
like every once, because that was the shtick for me. That was the bit for me.
I was gonna say there is no other. I've done a lot of amazing things in my life, and there's on stage in front of a mic playing to a crowd. There is something you can't. It's very hard to replicate that in anything else.
I have a quote, and this is my quote that I come up with, and it's how I used to explain when people would ask, "What's it like to be in a band?"
Yeah.
And you don't want to tell a story or write, you don't want to give them a novel.
Yeah.
But for me, I just summarized it in a quote. In my experience, there's no greater vantage point than the stage to watch life pass you by.
Oof, bro.
That
Eats a little bit at, because it is beautiful on stage and the energy that you're getting and all the above, but you're right.
if you've done it, you get the deeper side of the quote.
That hurts a little bit.
If you've never done it, it just sounds like a cool thing to hear from somebody who's done it.
Again, you're talking to a guy who, in my heyday, when I was really pursuing music, that was my prime time of finding a partner. And I told a few partners, like, this is my life. This is what I'm doing. And, 42 and single, it'll walk away from you, meaning life kind of just happens. And I have no regrets. I freaking love, this is cool.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. It's a Thursday night.
Yep.
Drinking a bottle of whiskey with a buddy, a business partner, a client, all the above, and just chilling. Again, from cameras on to cameras off, all those sacrifices. This is a lot of fun, and there's a lot of people envious of this experience. And it's not fake because it's with you. It's very, very real.
Yeah, I don't accept fake. From fake bothers me, so I'm not fake with anyone, right? And that's kind of why I said, I know what I said sounded abrasive, like if I don't want to talk to you, I won't, because I don't have time in my life for that. But I'd like to quantify what that means.
But it was honest.
I'm honest.
Yeah.
But it's also, as much as it's for my own protection and boundaries, it's also for the other person. I don't want to waste anyone's time or be fake or give any inconceived, like preconceived notions that things might be anything other than what they are. That's not to say that I won't go into every situation and be absolutely supremely polite, because I will. And I don't ever just turn my back on anyone. Like you bother me. You got your hat on backwards. I'm not talking to you, right? Like that's not me. But what I mean by that is there's no extended relationship there, right? Like let's take Steve, or let's take Neil, or let's take any of the people that I've met, if those guys, many people get messages from me, hey, random wellness check, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
And they're busy. They're as busy as I am, but I still take that time to talk, right? So that's what I mean when I say if I want to, I will. And, and I expect people to treat me the same, right? I'm not for everybody. If somebody can't stomach what I am, then I would rather you not talk to me than to be fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe maybe I'm oversharing. I don't know, but that's
No, I think to be successful at something like this, because this whole episode is about, okay, we have all these, we'll call them verticals because we're both, in business. Everything becomes a vertical in how you scale. to have all these different verticals that you're passionate about, and the passion is real in each vertical. I've been on set with you doing camera stuff. We've been cameras off doing whiskey stuff, and even cigars is another thing that you love and we do together. And I've talked with you about business and seen a corporate side of you as well. It's very serious. You're passionate about each of those things. You're not yet, I think I can say this, you're not yet passionate about podcasting. You're still very interested in podcasting, and we're here because you had this idea of, how do I tie all these other things together?
I see where you're going with this,
right?
and you're
Like,
spot on.
Like, how do I get everything to just become one? Because if I can't talk about it, or if I can't pull it all together, then what was it for? Right? And maybe that's me just projecting a little bit of my thoughts, but it's fun to watch you. This episode is really hitting that nail on the head because there was no guest. You are here strictly for the process of, we've built this thing. We're 4 months into episodes. We have hundreds of whiskey reviews that are already done, some unreleased. We're set to release something in, what month are we in? June. How we're in June, I have no clue.
Right.
But and how can we do that quickly without a guest? And I said, hey man, we'll just interview. But I know within the next year, we're going to see you get passionate about this. And I'm very excited about that because you are authentic, because you are honest, because you are someone who genuinely wants to have conversations. As you become more passionate about interviewing, which you're already a great interviewer, as you become more passionate about being great, which you don't care about now, other than the fact that we're doing it, being great on mic, being great on camera.
Right.
Man, when you get good at those things too, that's going to be even more fun. And I know it will be eventually. Well, what have we done? Right now, this is a job. Now we are sitting here weekly, not monthly, interviewing, and it's another trug of sitting down and learning. But man,
This is different. I'm gonna interrupt you. Do you know why this is different?
hit me.
I just have to show up for this.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Now I'm just talking about me. Hold on. Stuff has to happen.
Weekly is a hell of a lot more work for you than it
would be
than
for
it
you,
is for me.
Well,
and hey, I'm nothing but if I'm not honest, right?
Yeah.
But it's, first of all, let me address a couple of things you said, because you're correct. This is the vehicle to bring everything together and an excuse to have conversations and share what I have with people that I respect.
Yeah.
From day one, I told you, I said, we're going to call it Spirited Conversations, but I want to focus on the people more than the whiskey, which is what we're doing. And I've actually had the feedback that I didn't share with you because I kind of took the position in my head that I wasn't going to waver from that. I've had the feedback, the show's not much about whiskey. No, whiskey's a part of the conversation.
No, it's about spirited conversations.
Right. So it's with a purpose, right? That's what the short form material's for. If you're here only for the whiskey, that's what the short form material's
We
for.
have over 150 reviews on TikTok and Instagram. Go check them out. Yeah, plenty of reviews.
But I'm not passionate about being the FM radio DJ. I'm not.
Tonight on Spirited Conversations.
Right.
we
I'm
come
not.
to-
Because I think in a lot of ways, and I have friends in the radio industry, so learn, folks, if you're watching, don't hate me for this, but I already have to put on a face sometimes for work. The W-2 thing. I don't want to have to put on a face to sit behind this microphone and to talk to people that I hold close and hold as friends.
And I don't think you ever will. So let me give you some encouragement and maybe clarify. When I say good on mic and good on camera, I mean some of the things that you've already gotten better at, right? So when you're talking, trying to stay camera facing in frame. Like we've talked about that. And it just took a little adjustment. It's like, okay, you're not being unauthentic when you're thinking about that.
Right.
You're just trying to do a good job of being recorded, right? And
Sure.
When we first started, we had there's leaning back and talking and other things. You're a lot more on the mic than you've ever been. And
Right.
you can kind of see the differences in our guests and the way that you're doing it. And as you do more of it, I think you're just going to get sharper, better, and it'll just be good habits. It'll be good show business habits, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. And I didn't take it as an affront when you said
I know
it.
you didn't. I was just clarifying for the listener the passion about you are serious about making a good product, which is why you're listening to feedback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, if I wasn't, I mean, and here's another thing maybe that I don't know if people care to know or not, and it shouldn't really matter to them, I guess. But I'm invested in this. This isn't something this doesn't come to me completely for free. Is what I'm trying to say. So there's portions of what are in this room that I've invested in. My wife and I have invested in, and right now in my life, time is the most precious resource I have, and I'm investing time into it because I don't want there to be a break in these episodes.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want for that. If I can at all keep from that, I don't want there to be a break in the episodes, and I'm inspired by the people. And there are some that will message me and say, "Hey, I haven't seen the episode drop. Do you have
what's
one?
going on?"
When's the
And it's what are we at? The 4th right now? It's the 4th. So I got, but we'll be, by the 10th we'll be out. This is going to be a quick one. This is easy. I'm not worried about what the interviewee thinks about.
No, this one, the interviewee, this one, you have full permission just to chop this one and throw it out there.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making is, I'm going to circle back. I made a post the other day on Facebook that a lot of people, I think, misunderstood. And that's the danger of written word on social media.
Well, do you mind saying what it
No,
was?
I will tell you exactly what I said.
Okay.
And then I will explain how people took it and why I eventually pulled it down.
Oh, interesting. I haven't seen it. I follow you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No. I just made a statement. I'm traveling on the road, right? And this is not a statement. I'll tell you when I get to say. I'm traveling on the road. I have no time for anything, not family, no anything, right? Like I'm full road warrior mode, and I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I see concert announcements, and I see people coming, and I see my friends from the concert photography world, and they're putting up images, and it's like, that's not FOMO for me. That's, damn, I miss that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm so far removed from that world right now. Like, damn near, I used to be able just to pick up the phone and go, "Hey, I'd like to photograph that," and then, "Hey,
You're
here's
on
your,
stage.
Here's your credentials."
Yeah.
Right? I don't have that anymore, and I'm not complaining that I don't. We all make our choices. When you're not in the game, you're not in the game, right? So I just made a post on Facebook. I said, "Once upon a time, I aspired to be one of the best concert photographers in St. Louis." Period.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, just period.
I didn't take that.
People,
Can I tell you how I took it? And
absolutely.
Okay,
and
'cause
then
I'm
I'll tell you
curious.
how others took it,
Okay.
and then I'll tell you how I meant it.
I took it as an introspective look at how interesting you think where you are right now compared to where you thought you were trying to get. That's kinda,
like a starting here, ending here kind of thing.
it's like at once upon a time, I thought the most important thing was XYZ. Huh. Isn't that interesting?
Right.
It was more of isn't that interesting? That's how I took it. And I don't know how you meant it, but I'm looking forward to hearing.
It was way too deep for me what I actually meant about it. It's way too deep for anyone to actually know. But the danger of the open-ended, provocative statement is as follows. There were many people that took that as I was needing validation for the product that I create. I don't.
I was going to say, I feel like you, man, again, I would love your resume.
The statement, and how could anyone know this? The statement was, I don't have time to even try anymore. I'm traveling.
Yeah.
I'm on the road. I still have a family. I have a grandson. I have a podcast that I'm tied to that I'm struggling to get. And once upon a time, I wanted to do that too.
Yeah.
And I still love to do that. But there's only 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week.
Yeah. There's an interesting, and this is, we already know that the long shot of, this thing blowing up and you being able to do just something like this all the time and provide for your family at the level, I think that's the tough part. You could do this all the time. You just wouldn't make
If I was a single man, I could monetize my side hustles and I could just do, but
you're looking at him.
There's this thing called, retirement and health benefits and insurance.
Don't worry about those little things.
And that's the hard part, right? Because, and this kind of takes us 360 back to where we started. That's the hard part about taking your hobbies to the point where they could be jobs. Mm-hmm. I've been in the world of manufacturing since the day I turned 16 years old.
Yeah.
I turned 50 in a month. I've made all my money, all my security, everything I've ever achieved over here in this sector of my life that no one watching through that, or very few, very few that are watching me look right in that camera right now. Very few understand what I do over here.
Well, this is a great move into a closure to the episode. As we're going to sit around and we're going to chat some more. But that's a good bookend to, if you are watching this episode and you were curious about what is Keith up to, what is going on, tune in every month. Yep. You'll get some of the world that you've created over here in the manufacturing and professional. And since you were 16 years old,
right,
this professional version of you meets the eclectic mix of very interesting things that I've really enjoyed learning about you. I've really enjoyed hearing about you, and to be adjacent to some of the conversations that you've had has been a pleasure. And we're doing this show so everybody in your life can be adjacent to some of those amazing connections, pulls, and relationships that are at the core of who you are as an entire person. This is the intro to you.
Yeah, it's the Brake's backstory, right? So it's, I don't know, but I mean, there was a direct question asked of me through the feedback, and my final thought is very directly answered. I am fortunate enough to know these amazing people because I took a wild ass decision to teach myself how to take pictures at concerts, and from that wild ass decision, somehow managed to put myself in areas where I met these folks, made friendships with many, many of these people, and am blessed in my life in ways to have these vantage points that many don't ever get a chance to have. And that's one of the things that I miss about not being able to do photography. Because the one thing that I always felt that was most powerful about being a concert or an event photographer was I always prided myself on thinking or feeling like my work was good enough to show you what was there if you didn't have the time to attend. Like, you and hundreds more could live vicariously through a single moment in time that I was fortunate enough to capture. And I kind of miss that, but hey, life evolves, you know?
Well, dude, I love it. I'm excited for, this is episode 5. I'm excited for the next 60 episodes, whatever that looks like. This has been always a pleasure to chat with you, and an honor to produce the show. So cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. And to you folks as well.
Oh, yeah.